What if I told you that 73% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck? Not because they do not earn enough, but because nobody ever taught them the one formula that actually works. I am not talking about stop buying coffee advice. I am talking about a real research-backed system used by financial planners at Goldman Sachs, taught at Harvard Business School, and practiced by millionaires who started with nothing. It is called the 50-30-20 rule, and in the next 12 minutes, I am going to show you exactly how to use it, not just to save money, but to fundamentally rewire how you think about wealth. Stay until the end. I will reveal a twist about this rule that 99% of people miss, and it is the difference between being comfortable and being truly free. Let me paint a picture. You have been there, I have been there. It is the 28th of the month, you check your bank account, you have $47 left, and payday is not for 3 more days. You start doing mental math. Can I survive on ramen? Should I use my credit card again? Maybe I can borrow from my mom. Again. Here is what nobody tells you. This is not a money problem. It is a structure problem. Think about it like cooking. You can have all the best ingredients, ribeye steak, fresh herbs, truffle oil, but if you do not follow a recipe, you are just throwing random stuff in a pan and hoping for the best. That is what most people do with their money. They earn, they spend, they pray. There is no recipe, no structure, no system. And that is exactly why the 50-30-20 rule exists. The 50-30-20 rule was first introduced by Senator Elizabeth Warren in her book, All Your Worth, The Ultimate Lifetime Money Plan, back in 2005. She studied thousands of American families and found something powerful. The ones who were not drowning in debt all followed the same basic structure. Here it is. Take your after-tax income, what actually hits your bank account, and divide it into 3 buckets. Bucket 1, 50% for needs. This is non-negotiable stuff. Rent or mortgage, groceries, utilities, insurance, minimum debt payments, the things that keep you alive and out of jail. Bucket 2, 30% for wants. This is your life, eating out, Netflix, that gym membership you actually use, hobbies, travel, fun stuff, because life is not about suffering, it is about balance. Bucket 3, 20% for savings and extra debt payments. This is your future self thanking your present self. This is where wealth is built, slowly, quietly, inevitably. Now I know what you are thinking. Sounds good in theory, but does this actually work? Let me hit you with some data. A 2019 study from the Federal Reserve found that 39% of Americans cannot cover a $400 emergency expense. Not a car payment, not rent, just $400. Meanwhile, research from Princeton University shows that financial stress can literally shrink your IQ by up to 13 points. That is right. Being broke can make you dumber. It is a vicious cycle, but here is the flip side. A study published in the Journal of Financial Planning found that people who follow even a basic budgeting system, any system, are 2.5 times more likely to report financial confidence and 3 times more likely to have an emergency fund. The 50-30-20 rule is not just a suggestion. It is backed by behavioral economics, supported by financial institutions, and proven by decades of research. The question is not, does it work? The question is, why are you not using it? Okay, theory is cool, but let's get real. Let's break down actual numbers. Say you make $5,000 a month after taxes. That is $60,000 a year, solid middle class. Under the 50-30-20 rule, needs $2,500. That is rent in most cities, your groceries, utilities, phone bill, car payment, and insurance. Tight, maybe, but doable if you are intentional. Wants $1,500. That is $375 a week for fun. A nice dinner once a week, a concert, a weekend trip. You are not suffering, you are living. Savings $1,000. That is $12,000 a year. In 3 years, you have $36,000. That is a house down payment. That is an emergency fund that lets you sleep at night. That is your ticket out of the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. Now scale it. What if you get a raise? That $1,000 becomes $1,300. What if you cut your rent? That $2,500 needs bucket drops to $2,000. Suddenly, You are saving $1,500 a month. That is $18,000 a year. That is compound interest working for you, not against you. Here is where it gets exciting. That 20% bucket is not just savings, it is your wealth engine. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. He said, "He who understands it earns it. He who does not pays it." Let me show you what I mean. Say you save $1,000 a month and invest it in a basic S&P 500 index fund. Historical average return, about 10% per year over the last 90 years. After 5 years, you have put in $60,000. You have about $80,500. After 10 years, you have put in $120,000. You have about $205,000. After 20 years, you have put in $240,000. You have over $750,000. After 30 years, you have put in $360,000. You have almost $2.2 million. Read that again. You saved $1,000 a month. You became a millionaire, not because you earned more, but because you followed one simple rule and let time do the heavy lifting. That is the difference between saving and investing. That is why the 20% bucket is the most important percentage in your financial life. Let me give you an analogy that is going to make this click. Think of your money like a car. Your income is the fuel tank, the 50% needs, that is just keeping the engine running. Gas, oil, basic maintenance. Without this, the car does not move. The 30% wants, that is the road trip, the scenic routes, the music, the good stuff that makes driving worth it. But the 20% saving, that is buying a second car while you are still driving the first one. Most people are so focused on filling one tank that they forget. The goal is not to drive the same car forever. The goal is to own the fleet. Every month you save, you are building a fleet of income-generating assets, stocks, bonds, real estate, businesses. One day those assets generate enough fuel on their own, and that day, that is when you stop driving for money. And money starts driving for you. Now I have seen people try this rule and quit after 2 weeks. Here is why. Mistake number 1, counting your rent twice. People put rent in needs and then add utilities that are already included. Double counting destroys the math. Be honest, be precise. Mistake number 2, putting everything in wants. Yeah, I need my Netflix. Yeah, I need my Starbucks. No, those are wants. If you can survive without it, it is a want. Be ruthlessly honest with yourself. Mistake number 3, starting at 20% when you are broke. If saving 20% feels impossible, start at 5%, then 10%, then 15%, then 20%. Progress beats perfection. Always. The rule is a guide, not a prison. Adjust it to your life. But never, ever skip the savings bucket entirely. Even $50 a month is a start. Okay, bonus time. I promised you a hack, and here it is. Automate before you earn. Set up your bank to auto-transfer that 20% savings on payday. Not at the end of the month, on payday, before you see the money. Why? Because of something psychologists call out of sight, out of mind. If you never see the money, you never miss it. Your brain adjusts to spending the remaining 80%. It is called the hedonic treadmill, and you can hack it. Millionaires do not save what is left after spending. They spend what is left after saving. Flip the script. Your future self will thank you. Remember the twist I promised at the beginning. Here it is. The 50-30-20 rule is not about the numbers. It was never about the numbers. It is about identity. When you follow this rule, you stop being someone who is broke and start being someone who has a system. And that identity shift, that is worth more than any budget. Psychologists call this identity-based habits. Dr. James Clear wrote an entire book about it, Atomic Habits. The goal is not to achieve a result. The goal is to become the type of person who achieves that result automatically. You are not trying to save money. You are a saver. You are not hoping to be good with finances. You are good with finances. The 50-30-20 rule is just the training wheels, but the bike is your new identity, and nobody can take that away from you. Let's lock this in. Quick recap. The 50-30-20 rule: 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% saving, backed by research. Used by financial planners, proven for decades. Automate your 20% on payday. Never skip savings even if it is just $50. Remember, you are not just saving money. You are building an identity. You are becoming the person who has a system. And systems beat willpower every single time. If this video gave you even one aha moment, do me a favor. Save this video. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to learn how millionaires actually think, how money really works, and how to build wealth starting from zero, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning. Next week, I am breaking down the exact steps to build your first $10,000 emergency fund, even if you are starting with nothing. This is Money Drawn. I will see you in the next one.